Samantha had been feeling lonely for a long time. She had always been a bit of a loner and had never been able to make many friends. So she turned to the internet for companionship. She spent hours on social media and dating apps trying to find someone who would understand her and accept her for who she was. That's when she met Jake. He was charming, funny, and they quickly hit it off. They talked every day and soon they were inseparable. They would spend hours on the phone and video chat, getting to know each other intimately. Samantha had never felt so connected to anyone before. She finally had someone who truly understood her and accepted her for who she was. She was convinced that she had found her soulmate, but as their relationship progressed, things started to take a dark turn. Samantha started to notice strange inconsistencies in Jake's stories. He would change details about his life and would become evasive when she asked him about his past. She couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. She decided to do some digging and started to investigate Jake's background. She started by checking his social media accounts, and what she found there sent chills down her spine. On Jake's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts, she found photos of multiple women that Jake had dated. But as she scrolled through the photos, she noticed that many of them were no longer online. Their accounts had been deleted, and some of them were missing. Samantha was horrified. She couldn't believe that the man she had fallen in love with could be capable of such atrocities. She knew she had to get out of the relationship as fast as she could. She confronted Jake about what she had found, but he was dismissive and told her that she was paranoid and delusional. But Samantha knew that she couldn't ignore the signs. She knew that she had to act fast before it was too late. She tried to break things off with Jake, but he became increasingly aggressive and possessive. He would call her constantly, show up at her work and home unannounced, and even followed her when she went out. Samantha was trapped in a nightmare. She felt like she was suffocating, like she couldn't breathe. She couldn't believe that she had been so blind, that she had let this monster into her life. She was scared for her own safety and the safety of those around her. She reached out to the police, but they were skeptical of her claims. They told her that they couldn't do anything without concrete evidence. They suggested that she should get a restraining order and advised her to be careful. Samantha knew that she had to be more proactive in her efforts to stop Jake. She reached out to the families of the missing women, and they confirmed her worst fears. Jake had a history of violence and manipulation towards women, and there were multiple reports of him being abusive in his past relationships. Samantha was determined to put an end to Jake's reign of terror. She began to gather evidence, secretly recording her interactions with him and collecting any information she could find about him and his past. But Jake was always one step ahead. He knew that Samantha was onto him, and he became increasingly dangerous. He began to threaten her, telling her that she would never be able to stop him and that he would always be able to find her no matter where she went. Samantha knew that she couldn't live in fear anymore. She had to take action. She decided to go public with her story, hoping that by sharing her experience with Jake, she could prevent him from hurting anyone else. She appeared on a local news channel, telling her story of how she met Jake on Tinder and how he had manipulated and controlled her. She also shared the evidence she had gathered, including the recordings of his threats and the information she had gathered about his past. The story went viral, and soon the police had all the evidence they needed to arrest Jake. Samantha finally felt a sense of relief, knowing that Jake would no longer be able to hurt anyone else. She had felt as though she finally put an end to his reign of terror and had given a voice to the victims who were no longer able to speak for themselves. One night, she heard a noise in her room. She opened her eyes to find Jake standing at the